For decades, talking to a computer required a very specific routine. You had to speak slowly, over-enunciate every single syllable, and then go back to the keyboard anyway to fix all the typos. When the new voice models arrived in the mid-2020s, users described the transition as a life event. The software finally kept up with reality. You could stand in a busy cafe with espresso machines hissing in the background, speak naturally, and the machine captured every word. It moved past basic transcription and started acting on intent. Users pointed their cameras at crumpled movie tickets, asked their phones to extract the showtimes, and watched the details automatically populate their calendars. For a brief window, the keyboard felt entirely optional. The promise that you could simply speak to a device and have it execute a workflow changed how users believed they would interact with computers moving forward. By moving beyond literal word matching to understanding the speaker's actual intent, the software solved a long-standing frustration for millions of people. Users with thick accents no longer had to artificially flatten their voices just to get a smart speaker to set a timer. The assistant could follow a user starting a sentence in English, switching to Korean, and finishing in Romanian, all in a single continuous thought. The true value for second language speakers wasn't just raw speed, it was the relief of a machine finally meeting them where they were. The illusion didn't shatter in one massive outage. The cracks appeared in small, daily moments, usually right after someone tried to trust the AI with a task that actually mattered. Tech executives stood on stage and pitched a weightless, frictionless future. But the polished keynote demonstrations didn't match the software running on the phones in people's pockets. The first issue was access. The assistant could generate an expressive, empathetic answer, but it couldn't turn on a light switch or play a song without demanding the user physically unlock their device first. In the car, where hands-free control is crucial, the experience degraded. Drivers asking for navigation to the nearest IKEA were met with unprompted, lengthy audio lectures about the company's corporate history. Then there was the conversational pacing. If a user paused for even half a second to gather their thoughts, the new models immediately interrupted, cutting them off mid-sentence. Companies also began pushing mandatory updates. Users found their reliable standard dictation tools locked away or replaced by advanced modes that actively broke their established workflows. The core disconnect became obvious. The models possessed the linguistic intelligence to hold a stunning conversation, but they lacked the necessary system permissions to operate as a functional assistant. Initially, people assumed they were the problem. They thought they were navigating the device wrong, or hadn't enabled the right settings, or needed to buy a more expensive phone to unlock the features from the ads. But as users took to forums and comment sections to ask for help, they realized the features they were chasing simply weren't shipping. Finding out that thousands of other professionals were experiencing the exact same lockouts brought immediate relief. They weren't making a mistake. The demonstrations were heavily curated, and the reality was falling short. After the disappointment settled, professionals didn't abandon voice technology. They stopped waiting for the keynote promises and isolated the few tools that actually worked in a real daily environment. One of the biggest wins is the simplest: holding down a hotkey. Users found that dictating text directly to wherever their cursor was placed, without requiring complex cloud setups, was fast and incredibly precise. Beyond typing speed, office workers realized that dictating long emails or bug reports allowed them to look away from their monitors, significantly cutting down on daily eye strain. By stripping away the conversational personality, users successfully turned a failed assistant into a highly dependable and single-purpose utility. For small business owners, like mechanics or salon operators, stepping away from the desk to do physical work creates an immediate communication gap. This chart shows the financial reality. An estimated 62% of inbound calls go unanswered, translating to tens of thousands in lost revenue. To stop that bleeding, owners deploy AI phone agents that retrieve customer data and schedule appointments. The businesses seeing the most success position the voice model upfront as a sophisticated answering service, setting clear expectations rather than pretending it's a human receptionist. The promise was that you could talk to the machine and it would handle the rest. The software is finally effective at listening, but until its ability to act catches up, Voice AI serves us best as a quiet, targeted backup for the tasks human hands can't reach.